You know,
Yeah.
I want to move forward.
Yeah,
Sure.
good.
Like,
How you doing?
Baruch Hashem, how you doing?
All right. I'm gonna sit over here. I just
Yeah, keep healthy.
yeah. I don't know what happened. I think I had something. I'm not blaming him. Just
Maybe it's also like the weather's up and down, and also
yeah. Could have been.
also some people have allergies.
I
Like
had
so,
it like all week last week, like second half of the week over Shabbos.
yeah,
But
it's rough, man. Did you ever try any of those immune juices?
yeah. I've just been taking like a lot of vitamin C and
Have you ever gone to juicery?
zinc. Yeah. I liked it.
My wife did that, and that really knocked
Helped?
it out of her system. Yeah,
Yeah.
those
Ginger
little shots,
and lemon and
the
yeah.
shots, because it's all natural and.
Right, yeah, make a version of it at home, like lemon and stuff. Yeah, it's good. Okay, B'ezrat Hashem.
Should have four, and everyone who needs a refuah should have a refuah.
Amen.
This is Parshat Vayikra. The whole Sefer Vayikra, it begins with Korbonot, and we're already now after Sefer Geula. We're heading into this. They call it Torah's Kohanim. It's the idea of Vayikra, and we understand why it's Torah's Kohanim in a simple way. The Torah of the Kohanim, of the priests, because they're busy serving in the Beis Hamikdash. In the time of the Dor Deah was the Mishkan, and please God soon again in the Beis Hamikdash. So we sometimes feel a little bit disconnected, but the good thing is when you're learning Chassidus, is it makes it relatable now.
Correct.
There's a few Torahs we could go into. Honestly, I did have it saved in my personal one. I should have had a look before I came. Just remind me which one it was. I think we should do like we did last time, two, not too long ones, because otherwise we might not finish it. And I appreciate the fact that we're getting through it each time, getting to the climax, not getting stuck without finishing it. I am a little bit tempted to do the last one because and then see if we get time to do a smaller one. Taf Reish Samech Aleph, and the reason is because it's not too long, and it talks about that means it was like the last time he spoke at the last year of his life, on Parshat Vayikra. It talks about Aleph 0. This is a famous concept. I'm sure you've heard about it. The idea that Vayikra, the first word of the Sefer, has a small Aleph. Rashi talks about it.
Ze'ira is like small.
Small, yeah. It's Aramaic for small, like Rabbi Zera. Yeah.
Right.
It's there's a whole Gemara about Rabbi Zera and Rabbah, the big rabbi, the small rabbi, Mochen de Katnas, Mochen de Gadlus. It's a concept. The idea that there's a big Aleph. Do you know where that is in the Bit Torah? There's another concept. It says, but in Sefer Divrei Yomim, right at the end of the Torah, it says a big Aleph by the name of Odom.
Okay.
So there's definitely an interesting connection between the small Aleph and the big Aleph. One of the important things we're going to see that this small Aleph is to do with Moshe Rabbeinu, his humility, because the idea of making yourself smaller. Vayikra is also the idea of tefillin, and Yehuda Ma'asor v'Simcha v'Sasam Vayikra. There's a lot of connections to this word. We're going to see. We're going to see that Moshe Rabbeinu is going to teach us what and the Sfas is going to bring down what Moshe Rabbeinu is giving us from this Vayikra, from this important word, this break, somewhat, giving us a minute to internalize what everything just happened in Shemos.
Okay. So here we go. So it says Vayikra Aleph Ze'ira. That you have this small Aleph. Dehine Moshe Rabbeinu of Shalom. Kibel Kol HaTorah me'arba'im Yom ve'arba'im Laila b'Shamayim. So we know that Moshe Rabbeinu of Shalom, he received the whole Torah 40 days, 40 nights in Shemayim.
Yes, Peladik. It's living in Shemayim.
Correct.
That means no food, no drink.
No, nothing.
Means just purely ruchnius.
In Cain,
which is the shorish of nourishment. All nourishment, all food and drink is shorished in ruchnius. So he was in the true reality.
In Cain, is that what that is?
Yes.
In Cain. Lama ne'emar lo parshiyot elu be'ohel moed lamata. So he said, if that's the case, why do we say to him in parshiyot elu and these parshiyot be'ohel moed lamata? Meaning, meaning the whole Sefer seems to be Hashem speaking to him in the Ol Mohed, which is Lamata, meaning it's not in Shemayim, it's Lamata. It's like
Yes.
it's on the ground. Okay, good question. Raksha b'nei Yisrael lo hayu mochnim lakabel haTorah shene'amra lo b'shamayim. So he says only because b'nei Yisrael was not muchanim lakabel haTorah, was not prepared, I guess, ready to receive the Torah, shene'amra lo b'shamayim, that had been spoken to Moshe b'shamayim.
So we weren't on the level; he was there.
Meaning Moshe was on that level.
Yes.
So Moshe went up and did it on the people's behalf.
Right.
But it's saying here, why are they telling all the details of the pratim of the Mishkan, or of the service in Beit HaMikdash? Down here, I guess the Chorah, they are able to hear it. That's the implication.
No, we weren't able to get that kind of Torah. We had to have a Torah that would be able to perform down here. Right,
but that's what it's saying. That Torah that can be performed down here, that's the Torah that's...
It's fitting for us. Moshe Rabbeinu's Torah was Shemayim.
Right.
That's why he received it. Pure.
So he says, Shehi B'chinat Elef Rabuta. This is the aspect of 1,000 times 1,000, which is like... Elef Rabuta is like about... What is that, 10,000?
Aleph Rabuta, this is the aspect of the big Aleph. Huh?
The big Aleph.
So we're more down here. Like we said, Divrei Yomim, there's the big Odom. There's another hint in the word Odom in this week's Parsha. It says, if you read the whole Parsha, do you have a Chumash? Oh yeah, we can look in the back and consider. There's the first Aliyah, hasn't it, in Vayikra. This I saw from the... a lot of Chassidus goes back, we've mentioned a lot of times the Maharal, but there's another Makor that a lot of Chassidus goes back to, the Shnei Luchas Abris, the Shlach Kodesh. And he says this idea in Vayikra, Moshe v'daber Moed, Deber b'nei Yisrael martalem Odom, ki yakriv miken. See the word Odom? Second pasuk. Odom. So once again, the big Aleph in Divrei Yomim, over here, the point is for Odom, to bring a korban. Down here, this big Aleph. It's not, it doesn't have a big Aleph in this Parsha, but it's
sort of connected to the big Aleph.
And it means more down here, like the Torah Lamata.
So Aleph Rabuta is not what I was saying, Aleph.
That's the aspect, yeah, but Aleph.
Aleph.
Yeah,
Aleph,
the big Aleph. But it also is 1,000, but that's not what the shot is here.
Okay, Vizeh Halimud. Hey.
Haya bekatnus more madregas Moshe Rabbeinu alav shalom.
So Zeh Limud Haya bekatnut more madregas.
Opposite is more madregas.
Right. So he says this is the learning that was smaller, like in accordance with the level of Moshe Rabbeinu alav shalom. Dele Gabe Milta Zutra.
It's a famous Gemara Megillah
regarding this small.
This whole limit was a very small thing for him, a small matter. Ziltra is also small. Zutra is also small, but it's milsa. Zutra it's like a little.
It's a small matter.
Yeah, small matter.
The whole limit of Vayikra,
or the whole limit of like Yerushalayim, or that's what the Gemara is referring to. I don't know exactly. Sort of jumps.
Because it was just so natural. Then.
Yeah, he was already by Shemayim's level of Torah. So. So a lot of the Torah that he's saying to us is a small thing by him.
V'zeh shekatuv v'yidaber v'chulei le'mor. And this is what it means when it said v'yidaber v'chulei le'mor.
Yeah, that he said, and then by the time he gets to us, le'mor. It's like a nice, easier lashon for us.
Instead of v'yidaber, it's le'mor.
Yeah, but that was more strong. Yeah.
Very stronger. Shehaya ze limud le'mor l'bnei Yisrael. This learning was Shehaya ze limud
said to Bnei Yisrael.
Was said.
Instead of told, it was said. Told is more strong. When you tell someone, you're sort of ordering them in a way. When you say it, you're sort of encouraging them. So it's a different. We see this a few times in the Torah, like Parshat Chazinu. It says V'daber to the men and Le'mor to the women. So there's a concept of the Amacher. They're two different nations. Men you can say strong, and women you say endearingly, like softly.
Okay, but
so So Bnei Yisrael in as compared to Moshe,
it
was said, yeah.
V'zeh shekatuv
Shvilchem.
V'zeh shekatuv b'shvilchem hu
For your sake.
And that's what it said, that for your sake he spoke with me.
Yeah, but with the nation, with my nation. So he was very gentle with us, yeah, for our sake. He there was a way how he had to speak to us. You're learning that now, I suppose, in the Machon. There's a way you're learning with Rav Shlomo, I suppose. Not that I don't know exactly what's going on all behind the scenes, but from what little bit I'm seeing. And then there's a way you're going to get up in front of the Kehillah and speak, yeah? He didn't speak the same. He's not going to say this kind of stronger Torah that we just heard from Rav Shlomo now. He's not going to say that Lifnei Harabbim, yeah?
Right.
You guys can take it a little bit because he's getting you ready for the shlichus, but when once you're in front of the people, you have to, especially when it's a mixed crowd. Yeah.
Shebeoto b'shvil
Shvil, yeah.
Shebeoto shvil v'haderech.
And in this same path and way, so you just said it yourself. Literally, you just said those words just before we read that line.
That they can receive it.
Yeah, you just said that. Literally, you might have like a little Ruach Kodesh just Sfas Emmes a minute.
V'hine zeh be'atzmo inyan Korbonot. So he says this is itself the matter, the deep meaning of the Korbonot. Mashketu b'midrash ashrei tivchar utekarev.
Oh, beautiful midrash.
He says this is the matter of the Korbanos itself, as it says in the midrash.
Like that it was written in the midrash. Yeah, I think. I don't know. You have
praiseworthy are those who are tivchar utikarev.
Chosen. That were chosen and brought close. And we know that karev is also lashon korban. Yeah,
right.
So there's an Indian that the Korbanos brings us is chosen and closeness. It gives us, it's a fortunate thing. Hashem gave us a way. Now, I just saw this in the Siva Shalom. We don't really understand the Kavanas of Korbanos, even the Mukabalim. Even the biggest Mukabalim and the biggest Rabbanim, Gedolim, in many other generations, I don't know all of them, but many of the generations don't really know the Kavanas of Korbanos, except when you're actually doing it. You just know that it fixes. And once you're doing it, Lamaisa, then you can start to have some Kavanas. But to start explaining Korbonot in Golos, it's hard for us to. But what we do know is that Hashem's chosen us, and it brings us close to by doing the Savara Korbonot. And we're learning about it right now in Parshat Vayikra.
So he says, Bechira, Bechinat Moshe, Bechiro.
He was the chosen one, yeah?
So he says it's Moshe is the chosen one.
Yeah, and he chose also. That was the amazing thing. It was a mutual thing. Balcham Moisor Ba'ava. Hashem chose us with love, and what do? We choose Him also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
V'chein hayu muchanim b'nei Yisrael b'matan Torah shenivcharu liyod helek Hashem imo.
It's another pasuk from.
And he says, and similarly, we also have this
pasuk. Hashem imo.
Hayu muchanim, and similarly, it was the case that Bnei Yisrael was prepared b'matan Torah. That like they were prepared to have this portion of Hashem in them. Yeah,
that's a pasuk I think in Zos Bracha. I think Chelek Hashem Imo. It's a deep concept that the Chelek of Hashem is with my nation. I mean, I once sat by a shtickle makubu in the old city. His name's Gutman Locke. So he's interesting about Tshuva Yid. He was a guru one time, and one of the things he always tries to explain people based on Chassidus is we have a chelik alekam and mamish inside of us.
Uh-huh.
So this is a very kind of deep concept that everyone has a chelik of Hashem imo. So what does that mean? A portion of Hashem? How do you explain that? What portion? Say a part? Part, he says, is not the right word. Portion, yeah, because it really is. Once you've got a portion of Hashem, that means you're bound up with the infinite.
It's like a part of who you are.
Yeah. So it's not even the part. Doesn't even make sense because that divides it up. Right. It's not about. It's not divisible. It's a chelik of godliness.
Right.
Which is infinite.
Right.
So it's very deep. Like start thinking about it.
V'hem atzmam haTorah mamash, and this is the Torah really is really the Torah. Kedeita.
So you understand how deep that concept is. Hashem gave us a chelik in His Torah, and that's really what Torah is a chelik of Hashem, Imam. So, but one time, the nafkaminas of this is very deep. Like, for example, you see some of these guys, say like Matzio, or say at Patelis, we're in a shul where, Shlomo talks about this yid, yeah? We all care about him. And we see now recently he's seems to be doing more Torah things, more involved with Yiddishkeit again. Originally he was like a light, and then he had a challenging time period, and now he's back. So one of the Rabbeinu once said to me, don't worry, with him he's for sure going to come back, because he has so much Torah inside of him. The Torah itself, Meshivas Nofesh. Said about a relative of mine as well. The Rebbe said about a relative of mine. The fact that he's learned so much Torah, he had smicha, he had nisyonis, but the Torah itself will schlep him out. Because the Torah itself is chelik of Hashem. So once there's a chelik of Hashem, you think the Torah, Meshivas Nofesh, is going to return him back.
Right.
It's inside of us. It's infinite light that's going to schlep us back to Hashem.
V'hem atzmam haTorah mamish. Kedeita oraita ve'kodesh baruch hu ve'Yisrael kul chad.
Oh, so beautiful.
Right, and we have this, I don't know where this comes out from.
And it's brought from the Zohar.
It's in the Zohar.
He doesn't bring Makorah so much, the Sfas Emmes. He says Midrashim, but this is from the Zohar.
It says in the Zohar that the Torah and Kodesh Baruch Hu and Israel, all of it is one.
Yeah, so this is probably one of the most important statements. If you're going to learn Chassidus, this is the shorish of Chassidus. It comes from the Zohar Kodesh. The root of Chassidus is Avas HaTorah, which is Araisa, Kudsha Baruch Hu, Avas Hashem, and Yisrael, Avas Yisrael. That is the klalim of the Baal Shem Tov, that he wanted to make a big dagesh, a big emphasis on three pillars of Yiddishkeit: loving Torah, loving Hashem, and loving Yisrael. That's true Chassidus, not wearing a strimer and being mean to other people. That's not Chassidus. Right. Yeah, you have to actually live up to these three things. So that's kulu chad, and these are all one. They're at the point why you have to have such a love for them, because and since you have a chiyuv after it's Hashem Elokecha, and you have a avos of Torah, and you have a chiyuv of avos of Yisrael, you have chiyuvim from the Torah, from this. They're kuluchat. That's how deep it is. You're tuning into the oneness. All three of them have a yichud, are all one together with each other. And so then the real key, if you really want to know Torah, you have to have love for another yid. If you really want to connect to Hashem, you have to really love Torah. It's all one. Each thing's leading to the next constantly. And that's a very deep foundation of Chassidus that the Baal Shem Tov wanted to bring back this awareness. Not like this elitism that had happened with the Talmid Chachomim. He wanted to remind everyone that all of Klal Yisrael, you have to love everyone. If the Talmid Chacham really wants to masik all of Torah, he has to love all of Klal Yisrael. Because if a yid has a chelik of Torah in him and you're not loving him, you're blocking that.
You're not loving a piece of Torah.
Yeah, because there's a portion of that of Torah and godliness in that yid that you're not. So then it's not the full thing. It's not the full chad.
Yeah.
Deep
So he
concept.
says, "Aval ka'asher niflanu memadragazu srichin lechit karvut al yadei hakorbonot."
Wow.
Right, he says, but since we have fallen from this level, then therefore we need to draw closer via the korbanos.
Oh, so Hashem gives us practical tikkunim.
Dekaima be'avoda.
Oh.
So he says, and this is the word that's established in avoda. Like in.
This is the thing. Zeh Mila. Mila is also, it's interesting, Milsa. Mila is word, it's also thing. It's very interesting with Yiddishkeit. A lot of words are a few concepts in one. So you have the idea Dibor is also Dava, a thing. Tats is Rabbi Akiva Tats very much talks about this concept. He brings it from Moshe Shapiro. The idea, I think it's also from the Marah, the idea that everything has many aspects. So the thing, the matter, is established in as avoda. And the point is that the Korbonot is Hashem giving us a practical way how to fix up when we fall. Because it's like Korbonot, or all the different kinds of Korbonot that help us. So right now we're learning about them. Learning itself has a kark to fix. It's when you read, it says Kriya or Zman. When you're reading it, wakes up the time. So right now we're waking up as if we're doing Korbonot by reading the Parshas of Vayikra and Vayikra. We're tapping into the light of Korbonot. There's things that we can't fix ourselves. Hashem gave us tools to do through the Korbonot.
Okay. Wow, amazing. Okay, so here we go. So he says, Ubemidrash, Baruch Hu Hashem Malachav, V'lo Kol Malachav V'taktonim, She'enam Yicholim La'amod B'takpidav, Shel Kadosh Baruch Hu V'chulei. So he says, it says in the Midrash, Baruch Hashem Malachav, that Hashem blessed the angels, below Kol Malachav Tachshanim, but not all of the lower angels, She'enan Yecholim Lamod Betafkidav, like Shel Kodesh Baruch with me, but not all of them who couldn't go up and do their actual purpose that Hashem sent them for. He doesn't bless them.
So that's the lower ones. Now there are different levels of malachim. I was just talking about it the other day in Tanya. The idea there's Chayas HaKodesh, the higher level, highest level malachim, and then there's lower level malachim. I know what these things are, but we talk about them in Davening a little bit, especially Slichos. Sometimes they come up. The different levels of Shemayim, the different levels of malachim. If you want to go learn about it, you have to probably learn more Kabbalah Svarim, or maybe in Masechtas Chagiga starts to give you a little bit of a hint. But the point is that the lower level ones are not always able to fulfill their purpose, which is interesting because you think, well, they don't have a Yetzer Hara, so what's going wrong over here? That's a good question. I don't know. We'll see how he explains it.
So he says, Tehine ksiv v'lo yachol Moshe lavo v'chulei. So he says, behold, it was written that Moshe couldn't go.
Where was that going?
To Eretz Yisrael?
Yeah, could be. That makes sense.
Ki shechein alav hanan v'chulei. And as it was shechein alav, is like it was dwelling upon him, these clouds.
Oh, maybe this is talking about Har Sinai actually.
Maybe. V'halo haya arba yamim u'arba laila tochanan. So he says, but didn't he have 40 days and 40 nights?
Good point. Isn't it? It's a question, like he was in the Anan. So he was able to go up to the Anan.
So how could you tell me he wasn't able to?
Yeah.
So he says, Aval ksiv Moshe. He says, but it says the word Moshe. Twice. Moshe shelamala hayat tochanan.
I think we had this the other day.
This is the Moshe that was above was within the Anan.
Talks about this.
Ulamatahu helek
we did. We had it in the end of Pekudi. We talked about this Yichud Lamala, the Mishkan and Shabbos. We talked about this.
But here he's saying that Moshe, like there was a part of him that was up there, but there was a part of him that wasn't.
So that when it says two Moshes, it means there was a Moshe Lamala, Moshe Lamata.
Right, and it says the Lamata who helek Moshe Lamala. That the Lamata version was a portion of the Moshe that was above.
Yeah.
V'lechein hayat sarich likra mikodem Moshe. Lechaber Moshe Shalamata LaMoshe Shalamata. In order to connect these two, he had to say the double language. Ushnei elu bechinat elyonim v'tachtonim ha'adam kalul mishnehem. So he says, and these two Moshes were from this aspect of above and below. Ha'adam kalul mishnehem. That was like included in the two of them.
Very good.
He says, Nishmato Shalamala Yechola Lamot, that this piece of his soul that was above could stand.
Yeah. You're reading perfectly, but Shtalach, Lamata. But when it was like sent down Lamata.
Is that like Nishtalshlus?
Yeah, no, Nishtach, like sent. Shtalshlus is another shin, and it's like.
So when it was sent lamata, he rak helek min haneshama, v'shoresh nishar lamala. Right, that but when it went down, it was only a piece of the neshama.
That's a very deep reality because
the shoresh remained above.
We have to understand. We say every night in Adon Olam. Hopefully, we should say it as part of Birkas Krishma, Krishma Alamita. Excuse me, not Birkas Krishma. Krishma Alamita. We say Afkid Ruchi. I deposit my ruach with you. Afkid Ruchi. Based on the times of sleeping, let's just read it inside, so I'm just getting it wrong.
Vagia T or something.
Yeah. Don Olam's just before Birkas Shachar. We say in the morning and we say it also. And the Birkas Krishma as well. This it doesn't bring it for some reason. Surprise, it must be somewhere here. Oh, here, earlier on. He says at the end, into his hand, Yadav Kidruchi, Beisishan Veira. When I go to sleep and when I awaken. Imruchi Giviyasi Hashem Liya. But this last second from last time, Yadav Kidruchi, into town just entrust my spirit. And when I go to I shall awaken. And then what do you do when you wake up? You say after that, Alakai neshamat nasata bi tahari. What does it mean? You're giving me a soul again every day? So the concept, the way that it's understood in Pnei Mitzrayim, it's Lav Dafka Chassidus, but just brought down as a concept that your soul goes up every night and you entrust it in Hashem. Meaning you've done what you had to do that day, hopefully, and now that portion of your soul is fixed for eternity, and then Hashem gives you a new chedek of your neshama, another portion, to now work on the new day when you wake up in the morning. So this concept that, there's a Shoresh Lamala and then the Nishalamala, and then this bit. So we already have a Neshama all the way up there in the higher realms, and he's just giving us day by day another portion to work on. And so with Moshe, it was a much more like a revealed aspect of this, because he was such a Madrega that he was Lamala, Lamata, in a revealed sense, where he was collecting the Torah from Shemaim and bringing it down Lamata for us to be able to makabel it. So as I revealed.
Lamata hirak helik min haneshama v'shoresh nishalamala. Ubemet ze atzmo inyan hakorbonot l'karev hahelek shelamata el hashoresh. Meaning, even though you took this cow, and it looks like the full cow.
Yeah.
But the truth is, you're only looking at the portion of the cow that's down here lamata. But in a lamala, there's like a corresponding piece of the cow above. That's the idea.
Yeah, and somehow the cow above, not we understand. Once again, I said we don't really understand the korbanos.
Does the cow have a neshama? Not really.
We don't really understand the korbanos, how it works, but we do what's called smicha. We give it. We rest our hands on it,
right.
And there's some sort of chelik of ourselves get fixed.
Right.
So it's not really so much to do with the cow; it's more to do with our neshama. Do you understand?
Right. So then it's the portion of hahelek shalamata el shoresh.
Yeah, definitely. There's some tick into the animal because it gets to be part of this holy avodah of elevating a yid's neshama back to a shoresh. Right. But it's not the ik is not the cow. The ik is what the connection we have of bringing it as a korban.
So therefore, it says v'lechen b'Shabbat sheyesh ha'arat neshama yisera.
Yeah.
It says so too on Shabbos. So we have this illumination of the extra neshama. Hu azman la'id al haboreh. This is the time to testify on the Creator.
Yep.
Shabbat sahaduta ikri.
Okay, so I think this is Aramaic again. Shabbos is called sadusa.
Sadusa is like Suda, maybe?
No. We'll say it's like a testament. I'm going to guess.
Or maybe it's like testimony?
Yeah, it's like Aramaic for aid. But I wouldn't mind looking it up. Maybe, I don't know if it has Aramaic.
You can ask when Isaac gets back.
Yeah, someone like him will know.
V'lefi shehu yoma denishmatim. Since Shabbos is this day of nishmatin, of this of the neshama.
Yeah, it's not going to have it. It's Aramaic. So Aduta has no idea. Yeah, it's not going to know.
V'nikra Shalom shenidba kahelek behashoresh.
Yeah.
Right? It's called Shalom that it separated the portion from its root.
Lefi shu yomad nishmatin is a day of soul, and we call it Shalom. That it is davek kahelek mahashoresh. It's the Shalom. The idea that we call it Shalom because there's a shleimus, because you're joining up the chelik in its root as Baruch Hu Hashem Malachav, and then the praise Hashem His angels, because then it's no the shleimus says there's a shalom, like we say Shalom Aleichem. A certain shalom is done with the malachim. They did their task during the week to protect us, and now we get new malachim of Shabbos, and they come and bless us. There's a certain shleimus of shalom that's going on because we're davik to the chelik in our shorish. We're no longer just feeling so down here. Right. Our chelik of our neshama is more revealed. It's the day of neshama. The chelik, the neshama yisera is more revealed. The testimony that we give of the Eibishter is there, and the Shabbos is giving us power to be more neshamadik, to give more connection. So the angels themselves praise Hashem because they see this gilui of Hashem. And so then even though, I suppose even the low angel, everything gets a ticket, everything's praising Hashem. Because it says us, and then they will bless Hashem Malachav.
The pasuk nefesh kitachate ubemidrash v'gam hanefesh lo timale lefi shehi milamala mashal le'iruni shenatal bat malachim v'chule. So he says in the pasuk that it says nefesh.
So when the pasuk says he sins, that when he sins,
ובמיdrash gam hanefesh lo timale lefi shehi milamala. Meaning, the pasuk says nefesh when he sins. In the midrash it says v'gam hanefesh lo timale lefi shehi milamala. Meaning, there's a midrash that says that the nefesh is not full because it's above. Mashal le'iruni shenatal bat malachim v'chule. So he says it's there's a parable to a iruni shenatal bat malachim.
I think what happens is that because when a person sins, it pushes away levels of the neshama.
Okay.
So like a bas malachim, like it's gonna a queen, a daughter of a princess is not gonna want to be near like the icky,
right,
Alam Hazeh kind of thing. It's that famous Moshe of like the it doesn't want to be shaykh, this low experience of the soul distance, just like a princess would from something not nice.
Right, okay, fine. Shabbat malachim. Ki hanefesh yeshba kama madrigot, because the soul has multiple levels.
Yeah.
Kedita zacha natal nefesh. As it says that the zakah natal nefesh.
Yeah, if you zoche like
zoche natal nefesh, as it says zoche natal nefesh.
Or pure maybe.
Like if you merit, then you'll have this natal nefesh. Zacha yatir yehavin lahashem rucha. So if you merit yatir yehavin lahashem rucha.
It'll be given. Yehavin is like to be given. This is all Aramaic. Zachiate, like he's more. The more merit you have, we give him more ruach, kind of thing. I don't think it's la Hashem. It's like lehu or something. To them, a ruach.
Yavin laHashem nishmata Hashem bezoar amor.
This is a little bit hard. You've shown us this last 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah.
Hashem bezoar amor. Right, so he says this is what's called Hashem Nishmasa in the Zohar.
Look, we're getting definitely a lot of insights into the fact this soul was given to us, and if we're in a pure state, then it will stay with us. If we're sinning, it's going to be all these levels will start to distant. So the concept is this: the more we are zacha, the more we purify, the more we have blank place for, the more the soul will come to us. And this based on the fact He's given us this soul. We learn in the Zohar and Parshat Emmes.
Right. And then he says, "Ula olam."
And always.
Ein lezeh shiur haneshama helek elokus. Right. So he says, and really there is no measurement of the neshama. That's like there's no way of measuring what this portion of godliness is that you have. And really the soul is not full.
Yeah, I mean, if we're making sense of what we said about Don Olam, you see it's portions of your soul. It's not the whole thing. But we said there's a shoresh lamala. Moshe was able to be connected to both at the same time. But us normal people, it's higher up. Yeah, the shoresh, and we don't really get access most of it.
Right.
Just like even psychologically, lahavda, we don't access our whole brain, our whole abilities. On a pneumius level, it means we're not really accessing the full potential of who we are, full neshama, our full being. It's we get to get it in portions, yeah, depending on how much we're zocher.
Aval kfi avodat adam zoche la'ir hanefesh ulehashlema. So he says, but according to the service of a person, you could be zoche la'ir hanefesh, to like awaken the soul.
Yeah, to light it up.
Hashlema, into its completion.
I would say la'ir is to light up. with an iron would be a ear to wake up. So the light up, the nefesh la shlima. It's a similar concept, but to get to that and shlema la shlima to then be able to complete it. Al zeh no need some mitzvah k'mash kosev.
Al zeh nitan hamitzvah k'mash ketuv asher yaseh otam ha'adam
v'chai behem
lamshich chiyut haneshama el haguf ulehagbir hanefesh al haguf.
Wow, this is very deep. This is a lot of chassidus.
So he says, and via this we give the mitzvot k'mash ketuv, as it says, asher yaseh otam ha'adam, asher yaseh otam ha'adam, like as they will do these people, v'chai behem, and live by them.
Yeah, live by the mitzvahs.
Lamshich chayut haneshama, like to draw the life force of the neshama, el haguf,
to the guf, to this physical body,
Hagvir hanefesh al haguf, and to lehagbir is like, I guess, to bring up.
Yeah, like conquer. Yeah, like strength.
Conquer.
The nefesh gets stronger on the guf.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a gibor. Like you get the strength to be lagvir, to be stronger. The nefesh on the guf, conquer the nefesh on the guf. So who's running the show? Because you're busy with mitzvahs. And that's what Hashem made you for, v'chai behem, to live in them. So that draws down this chiyas of the neshama to the guf. So when you meet someone who's very ruchnius, you see that it's because it's not just they didn't just get it miraculously, just got this gift. I mean, maybe like Moshe, Rabbeinu, certain tzaddikim, but majority of us, the only way you get to that is by doing a tremendous amount of mitzvahs, having a lot of schusim. One of the reasons people go to Rebbes, what's the reason? Because they have so much schusim. You think about the amount of people they have doing mitzvahs connected to them. They have all these shluchim, they have all these kolalim, they have all these business people that give tzedakah. They're just tapped into endless mitzvahs. So they have so much koyach and neshama, so much schusim. So the neshama, the nefesh is conquering on the guf by those people.
So he says, "V'al yedei chata lehipuch."
Yeah, the opposite.
Hefech.
The hefech.
Lehipuch. So he says, and via sin, it's the opposite. Shalit haguf al nefesh. It's the control that the body has on the soul.
Yeah. So if Chas Hashem are doing sin, so now who's running the show?
Right. It seems to be the body's running the. I
mean, this is like Tanya explained in Tanya based on nefesh bahamis, nefesh alakus, leiv yamin, leiv small. I've been learning this right now. I'm learning about the Beinani. There's very foundational concepts in Chassidus, but the Sfas is more talking about it the nefesh and the guf, not the heart levels. It's talking about everyone has different ways of explaining it. But what the Sfas is getting us to, the more mitzvahs we're busy with, the more we have koach and neshama to l'sgaber, to l'gaber nefesh al guf. But the more we're busy with other things, the more it's the other way around, which we don't want.
So he says, "V'zeh nefesh ki techate lashon chisaron."
Yeah, it's lacking.
So he says, and this is the soul, which is ki techate, like this is the soul, like what happens when it sins. Lashon chisaron, which is this language of lacking.
Yeah.
She'al kol panim tzarich adam liyot binuni.
Oh,
that nevertheless, a person needs to be a binoni, like a binoni.
It's interesting. I didn't know that he used to bring down this concept. This is Tanya.
Idea.
Yeah, this concept of Tanya, of a person has to be a Beinani. What does a Beinani mean? He has to have his nefesh rule over his guf. Now, does he get rid of the Yetzirah, the nefesh bahamis, the whole nukud of the Tanya? No, he still has a Yetzirah there, but he just never lets it run. He never lets it run the show. His neshama is always stronger. His nefesh is stronger.
Wins.
Yeah,
that's definitely different.
Yeah, it's not
shoftan.
Yeah.
Two of these things are the shoftan.
There's like a judgment. They're fighting each other within.
V'lo sheyigaber haguf al hanefesh. It's not that the body is able to overcome the nefesh. Because
if so, that would be what? That wouldn't be a Beinani. That would be
less than a Beinani.
Midas Harashayim.
Right.
It's aspect of the evil ones.
But this is the aspect of the evil ones.
And it says about them.
Karuin matim.
Yeah. They're zombies. Excuse me to use that lashon.
death?
Yeah, they're like called dead. Why? Because their life is called death. Why? Because they're living according to the guf, which is finite, which has a finite power, like constant taiva after taiva.
Not living according to the neshama, which is an infinite,
which is called true chaim.
She'ena nefesh shalit liyot et haguf. He says that the soul does not have control over the body.
Yeah.
Avahat tzadikim mashlitin nefesh al guf. But tzadikim have control, the nefesh al guf, of the soul over the body. V'az gam haguf b'kolel hachayim. And then the body includes life.
It's included in this life of neshama, of nishmasin. So we all get a little boost like that on Shabbos, where we get more elevated. But the tzaddikim, they're always like this. They don't need these high moments to experience that. There's a certain tamidus that consistently are consistent of being neshamadik all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Beinanim, like they have moments in neshama, they have moments where they goof talks. They might not listen to it, but there's still a lot of goof going on in the conversation.
Right.
And that's most of us halavaya Beinanim. But even based on Tanya, based on Sfas, even the tzaddikim, their vote is they get their goof and elevate it to the kolal. They include it in the life. What's life? Life of neshama. Mm-hmm. Life of the true life is neshama. It's chai behem. It's mitzvahs.
So he says, "B'Shabbos Kodesh me'ir haneshama yisera." It says in Shabbos Kodesh it illuminates this extra neshama.
Yes.
V'zeh hifuch nefesh ki techateh. And this like flips the soul if it had sinned. So even if it had sinned, it still flips it.
Shabbos.
Adrabah hanefesh mitchazek b'shleimut. He says this to the contrary, if a soul strengthens in completeness.
Adrabah, the soul is mischazik, is now.
To the contrast, hanefesh mitchazek b'shleimut, meaning on Shabbos the soul is actually strengthened by completion.
And that would even be by Beinanim, not like these tzaddikim who already do that anyway.
Right, meaning it's saying like even by all people on Shabbos, that's what's going on. Yeah,
we just have to allow ourselves to be able to experience that beautiful elevation that we get from Shabbos. So that was big chizuk on the idea of understanding how the soul and Moshe and how it relates back to the little aleph. It's a little bit complicated. I think I gave a little hint there with Odom, the idea of the aleph, the big aleph. Like we're not able to do it constantly. We have to tap into times. Yeah? Right. And Hashem gave us ways through Korbonot, through Shabbos. He gave us ways of tapping into this time when the neshama gets more chiyas, so that we must gabe on the guf. But it's good to know that there's tzaddikim who have Moshe Lamala, Moshe Lamat. They're in a state of neshama. Mm-hmm. And they're the ones who are bringing the Torah to us.
Yeah, very nice.
And the panimis that we have a chelik as well of Torah within us. And with the angels, they're only fully praising Hashem when Am Yisrael is like in this higher state, all of the angels. So we do affect the lower angels, interestingly. Seems to be a very repetitious one further back. So I think we should learn that. We should learn a little one that's a little bit different. I did have something ready, I'm just looking for it. I think we should do this one all the way at the beginning, when he was a younger Rebbe. Tafrei Shamid Base.
Okay.
It's a nice little short one, but it will finish us off for today in a good way. And it's an important concept, because we're going to have to figure out I don't know if you're going through this, but if say you're not feeling so well, or other things going on in your life, sometimes it's hard to go learn, yeah? Right. It's hard to get up and do daven, it's hard to do things. So you need to be able to force yourself a little bit through Rotzon. Right. Let's see what he says about that.
So he says, Yakriv oto l'Rotzono, melamed shekofin oto v'chol. Yeah. So he says, Yakriv oto l'Rotzono, meaning you draw yourself closer to his desire.
Yeah.
Melamed shekofin oto b'chu. This teaches shekofin. Kofin, like a kofer, is like someone who doesn't believe.
Yeah, but this is without a resh. This shekofin means also means the force. Yeah, in this case.
It means the force.
Yeah. I'm gonna get that word saduso. I'm gonna get that translated at some point. That was the previous one, but now I'm just gonna translate.
Shekofin.
Yeah, shekofin.
Right?
It's a famous concept in Chazal. Maybe it's Aramaic also. Kofef, kofefim, like straighten out the kofef. Shekofin also, we force him. It could be it's an Aramaic word again.
Mm-hmm. So he says, Perush mi shirotze al kol panim liot tachat ol malchuso yitbarach. So he says the explanation is that one who wants, never like al kol panim liot tachat ol malchuso, like al kol panim meaning like.
Let's see. It says the translation of transparency. Oh, but that's with a kuf. Yeah, that's a different word. Shekufin is to force him. Perish. Misharat al kaponim lios tachis ol malchuso yisbarach. So, like, what's one of the ways of forcing yourself? Is ol malchus shemaim.
Misharat al kol panim liot tachat ol
malchus yisbarach. By the ol malchus yisbarach. Did you know that Shema is Rosh Hashanah ol malchus shemaim? It's a different order. But it's a concept that when you're saying the Shema, you're saying ol malchus shemaim. So you can bring that down.
Because whoever wants, no matter what, you can bring yourself under this.
Yeah.
Concept of malchus shemaim. Yechol lifoal gam ken sheye
Kufas. He's saying it again. To force yourself from shemaim.
Force yourself.
Why doesn't it translate it here?
From shemaim. Gam ken imrotze bezeh, and this is also the case if you desire this. Because everything is according to the desire of a person. Meaning, if a person has a desire for such a thing, then it'll happen.
He brings the translation here, his reflection. Interesting. From Shemaim, Gam Kainim Rotzu, so everything goes according to the will of a person. There's the very important thing, Yakriv, we say in the whole idea, it's all about ha'odam, is a person really has a very important aspect. We're not just about what we think and speak and do, but there's a whole panimis level of Rotzon.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to tune into the Rotzon Hashem. This is part of what we're here for. It's based on Pirkei Avos, you do Hashem wants us to do the Rotzon of Hashem, and then people will do the Your Rotzon, that kind of concept, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's where Star Wars got it from. Yeah, the famous scene when it's like, Ana lahavdo, but Obi-Wan says, he says, let them go forward, when that scene.
I don't know exactly, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but okay.
But he basically gets these dumb stormtroopers to basically go the way through the Force to do what needs to be, to go the way his will.
Okay.
What we understand it's because he's doing Rotzon Hashem. That's not just because some power magic force or something.
So there's a call the fear of them.
Yeah.
Meaning that a person who has a desire basically can even when it's hard, no matter what, you can force yourself into that place.
Yeah, and everything goes after the Rotzon of a person, what a person really wants. So it's really important to work on your Rotzon, what you really want in life. And that's part of serving Hashem, is tefillah is getting our Rotzon more and more clear towards Rotzon Hashem, to the Or Malchus Shemayim. And this is part of tuning into the Korbonot and the Parshat Vayikra. This time of year is tuning into certain deeper Rotzon. I said the whole idea of Purim is it purifies your Rotzon, of the drinking and the mitzvahs of the day, and the Sudas of Purim and the Shlach Mana, sometimes Yevon and the Megillah. It's all purifying our Rotzon. It's one of the only times you see in the Torah a Keser Malchus. Keser. Again, Keser represents Rotzon. Keser is the idea of bringing the Keser that's brought down in the Megillah Esther, is the idea of tuning into Rotzon. Yeah, Shekochalo says Shekochalo, Shekolo Kasuvim. Yeah, the Rotzon, you're building up a Rotzon to do Rotzon Hashem, and that will give you courage to constantly do. My wife, her birthday today, her name is Masha. Mm-hmm. Masha's Gematria Rotzon. Moshe is Gematria Rotzon with the Kolal. It's also today is Zayin Adar. So what we learn about Moshe Lamala, Moshe Lamata, we're learning about on Zayin Adar, the Yotzai of Moshe Rabbeinu, and also the Yom Yeledet of Moshe Rabbeinu, and my wife's also my birthday, Masha. The idea of Rotzon, of tuning into the Sinos, Osius Rotzon, tuning into Rotzon Hashem. Again and again, that was Moshe Rabbeinu's Gilui. His gematria of Rotzon with the collar, constantly showing us the Rotzon Hashem. That's what his shlichus was.
What it was all about.
Yeah, and that tuning into that inner Rotzon of ourselves. Everyone has an inner Moshe within each of us. We said we have a chelik of God inside of us, a chelik of the Torah inside of us. Tuning more and more into that inner place of Rotzon, and that will keep us away. And you have to understand, these kind of Torahs is a lot of the answer to all the apikosis and all the nisyonis that go on until Moshe comes. Because once you tune into that inner panemius place, there's nothing can touch that place. It's Kodesh Kadoshim, it's panemius. The Yetzer Hara doesn't touch that place. Even Amalek, there's no shlita over there. So the real key is to just start to get more and more into this concept of Rotzon. And that's why when you're learning this concept of Vayikra and this, we're learning these Korbonot, which seem a bit like far from us. When you start to learn it on an inner level, you realize that it's about developing inner aspects of wanting to do Rotzon Hashem, wanting to be able to bring these Korbonot, developing holy desires. This is something which hopefully by learning about it will generate those holy desires, and that will keep us away from the other desires. There's plenty of them. So we need to really work on that, like through learning, through davening, through living it, being a good person, and it will develop these Rotzonos towards Hashem, and then we'll be blessed. So you mentioned the Shabbos will strengthen that every week more and more, and Purim as well, through Simcha and through positive things, and everything you're doing here is developing it. So
that's Hashem.
And then you can have Ashpa on other people, because like we just said, like Obi-Wan. If Obi-Wan in Star Wars can do it, Kol Sheken from Yid.
Right, and you want to do it if you're into it.
Once you tune into Torah, which is a true Rotzon, not this funny force, a
Right.
real Rotzon Hashem. So then people around you start to want to do Rotzon Hashem. Like, I never understood it. Like, why did my father, he loves me, but just say a different thing. I've seen with Tzaddikim, they're able to mashpir on people a new Rotzon. Remember, we learned that one time.
Mm-hmm.
They put inside us a Rotzon. Like, that's why it's important to be around people that help you develop good Rotzonos.
Right.
It's a very fundamental part of a Yiddish and Neshama.
Absolutely.
Okay, we should be blessed.
Wow, shkoyach. Okay.
Exactly, Mats.
Thank you, Rabbi.
So we started Vayikra in a very strong way, Baruch Hashem.